have you told yourself, I'll start when I feel motivated? Or maybe you've waited for that perfect burst of inspiration before taking action, only to realize it never comes. Here's the truth. Motivation is a myth. It's fleeting, it's unreliable, and it's keeping you stuck. In today's episode, we're breaking down why motivation is overrated, what actually drives success, and how to build unstoppable self-discipline. I'll give you science-backed strategies, mental health hacks, and simple, actionable steps that help you push through, even when you don't feel like it. If you've ever struggled with consistency, felt stuck in a cycle of waiting for the quote-unquote right moment, this episode is for you. Let's cut through the excuses and create real momentum. If you're ready, y'all, let's dive in. We're going to break down why I feel like motivation is a myth. I really think that people rely on motivation far too often, and it's really overrated. The reason I don't think you can rely on motivation is because it's based on emotions and external factors. Think about the last time you truly felt motivated. Maybe it was after watching an inspiring video, hearing a powerful speech, or setting a big goal. In that moment, you feel unstoppable. But what happens the next day? And then the next week? Soon, months have gone by and you have taken zero action. Motivation truly feels like a roller coaster. It comes in waves. It rises, it falls. It's completely unpredictable. It's tied to emotions, and emotions fluctuate daily. Some days you wake up feeling energized and ready to crush your goals. Other days you wake up tired, stressed, you're not in the mood, you don't even want to be around people. And here's the kicker. If you rely on motivation to take action, you're letting your emotions dictate your success, which, if you're not where you want to be, is probably honestly the reason why. Ask yourself this. How many times have you skipped a workout, put off a project, or delayed a decision just because you didn't feel like it? Imagine where you'd be if you had taken action anyways. Number 2. Action creates motivation. It's not the other way around. Most people believe that they need to feel motivated before they take action. They wait for the right mood, the right time, the right energy. But real talk, motivation doesn't come before action. It actually follows it. Think about this. Have you ever dreaded going to the gym, but felt amazing once you started moving? Have you ever forced yourself to start a task and suddenly you found yourself in the zone? That's because motivation is a byproduct of action. The more you move, the more momentum you build. The more momentum you build, the more motivated you feel. If you keep waiting for motivation, you'll stay stuck in a cycle of inaction. The longer you wait, the harder it is to start. But if you push yourself to take that first step, no matter how small, your brain will shift gears, your energy will change, and that quote-unquote motivation, it'll kick in. In order to make this happen, you really do have to elicit a mindset shift. You don't wait to feel motivated. Act first, motivation will follow, and success will be soon enough. Reality though, when you really want to pursue success, it's built on habits. Success cannot be built on feelings. The most successful people in any field, athletes, entrepreneurs, leaders, they don't rely on motivation. They don't wake up every day feeling inspired to work hard. They don't always feel like doing the work, whether it's training, writing, grinding. What they do have are systems, routines, and habits that keep them moving forward no matter what. A pro athlete doesn't wake up and think, do I feel like training today? They train because it's their job and it's a part of their routine. A CEO doesn't rely on motivation to lead their company. They follow the structured habits that ensure progress. A disciplined person doesn't ask themselves, do I feel like showing up today? They just do it because they have to get the job done. Success, it isn't about feelings. It's about doing the work even when you don't want to. The motivation is a bonus, but the discipline is the foundation. Okay, now it's time to do some work. Your action step is to take control now. Right now, think of one thing you've been putting off because you're waiting for motivation. Maybe it's a workout, it's a project, it's a personal goal. Instead of waiting, take action right now. I highly encourage you to set a timer for 5 minutes. Give yourself a little reprieve, and when that timer goes off, get up and get moving. What can be really helpful? Simply set your workout clothes out and just commit to something simple like 10 minutes of movement a day. Take a walk, ride your bike. If it's something that you have to do for your business, write down one small step you can take today. And just remember, motivation is unreliable, but your actions, those are fully in your control. You have to stop waiting, start doing, and just wait to see how immensely different your life will look if you consistently take action over time and stop waiting for the right feeling or the right time. The second part of this podcast that I think is really important to talk about is the difference between discipline and motivation. They are not the same thing. Motivation is temporary. Discipline is a skill. You can't depend on motivation, but discipline can be developed and strengthened over time. Think of motivation like a spark. It can light a fire, but it burns out fast. Discipline, on the other hand, is like a pilot light. It stays on no matter what. The problem with motivation is that it depends on how you feel in the moment. If you're excited, you'll take action. But what about the days you're tired, stressed, unmotivated? That is where discipline comes in. And anytime somebody asks me about motivation or what motivates me, I don't mean to be rude, but I always tell this to people. I'm not motivated, I am disciplined. And I know that not everybody wants to live as regimented of a life as I do, but my discipline is literally the only reason I'm in the position I'm in. It's honestly something that maybe you're like me and you're just born with it. I was raised to be like this, but you don't have to be born with it. Discipline is a skill you can build, you can train, strengthen it over time, just like learning a new language or improving in a sport. Discipline is something that you develop through repetition and consistency. The more you practice it, the easier it gets. You really have to shift your mindset here and stop chasing motivation. Instead, focus on building the skill of discipline because skills are what last when motivation is going to fade. When you really think about this, discipline means taking actions despite your feelings. Most people assume they need to feel like doing something, and that's a bold-faced lie. You don't need to feel like feel like working out. You don't need to feel like eating healthy. You don't need to feel like showing up to show up. If you let your emotions dictate your actions in your life and you only show up when it's convenient, success is not coming your way because success doesn't come from convenience. It comes from consistency. Discipline is the ability to take action. Even when you don't feel like it, it's pushing through when you're tired, staying focused when you're stressed, and showing up for yourself even on the hard days. When you elicit the mindset shift you need, you don't have to feel like doing it, you just have to do it. And that literally is the definition of an entrepreneur's life. No one's doing it for you, so you better do it your damn self, or you are going to be in one hell of a mess. Think of discipline like a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it gets. So imagine if you only went to the gym when you felt like it, would you ever build muscle? Would you ever get results? Abso-freaking-lutely not. Discipline is the same way. Every time you push yourself to follow through on a commitment, you are strengthening your discipline muscle. Every time you say, I don't feel like it, but I'm going to do it anyways, you're making it easier to show up the next time. Discipline isn't about making massive changes overnight. It's about small, consistent actions that build resilience over time. One workout when you don't feel like it, boom, stronger discipline. One healthier meal when you're tempted to eat off meal plan, stronger discipline. One day of following through, stronger discipline. Success isn't built on big dramatic moments. It's built on tiny decisions repeated over and over again. That's why for this phase of the mindset shift, think about it like this. Every time you show up when you don't feel like it, you're making your discipline stronger and you're getting to your goals faster. So your action step for this portion of the podcast today is right now, I want you to choose one discipline-based habit to commit to this week. And I'm talking keeping it simple. Whether that's 10 minutes of movement every day, drinking a glass of water first thing in the morning, or reading 10 pages of a book before bed instead of scrolling on your phone. I want you to commit to that for 7 days. I don't care how you feel. I don't care what excuses you're going to make. I want you to freaking do it. One action, 7 days, because motivation will not always be there, but discipline will become your best friend and you'll have it no matter the circumstances or situations that you may be facing. Now, let's talk about one of my favorite things, and it's the science of consistency. How habits drive success. Habits reduce decision fatigue, and it makes success automatic. Ever wonder why successful people seem to get so much done? It's not because they have more willpower. It's because they remove decision making from the equation. Every day, you have to make tiny decisions, thousands of them. What to wear, what to eat, when to work out, how to structure your day. The more decisions you make, the more mentally drained you become. This is called decision fatigue, and it's one of the biggest reasons people give up on their goals. But when something becomes a habit, you don't have to waste mental energy deciding whether to do it. You just have to do it automatically. You don't have to debate brushing your teeth, you just do it. I really hope so. You don't question putting on your seatbelt. It's second nature. I surely hope so. And if you're listening to this podcast and you're in the state of Florida, can we please make using your turn signals also second nature again too? Because your girl was walking home before I filmed this podcast today and almost got my ass run over. So just side note, I have a lot of Floridians listening to this podcast. Use your freaking turn signals. Anyways, imagine if working out, eating healthy, or journaling just felt automatic. Mindset shift. The less effort it takes to make a decision, the more likely you are to follow through. So build habits and success will become a little less effortless. Start small. You got to be consistent, right? Everybody says stay consistent, stay consistent. I always say consistency is king. In order to avoid burnout, you have to build momentum. Most people fail because they try to do too much too fast. Insert personal story. I am this person. 11 now, almost, years ago, I started Gina Marie Fit. It literally started with my own transformation when I needed to lose 30 pounds. Started posting on the internet about the transformation, started offering my coaching services, created this, what now is a brand, which feels weird to say, but it is. I just use that, Gina Marie Fit, on everything. My website, my blog, my social media. I was doing all of the things and nothing really was that successful. It was good, but it wasn't great. Now, 10 years later, your girl's been doing the things over time, consistent AF, gotten better because I focused on one thing at a time. And now you see your girl and all the accolades and the awards. But if somebody told you it would take you this many years, how many of you would have given up? I thought about it. I didn't, but I thought about it. You truly could prevent yourself from burnout, from failure, if you just focused on one consistent task that'll get you to that goal by improving it. You can't go from never working out to consistently working out every single day. If you are somebody that needs to improve and eat more nutrient-dense meals, trying to change everything you're eating isn't going to work. Just focus on the simplicity of things, because setting massive goals is hella important, but it's very easy to get overwhelmed. When you get overwhelmed, you quit or you just postpone things and you just put it on the back burner. Ain't nothing burning on the back burner. It's going to where you don't want it to go because then you just push it aside and you never follow through. Real success is not built on intensity. It's built on consistency. Y'all, it is a grind over time. It's better to start small and be consistent than go all in and burn yourself out because small actions repeated daily create that momentum we're talking about. 5 minutes is better than nothing. 1 glass of water is better than nothing. If you want to journal for 2 minutes a day and then eventually you get to 10 minutes a day, hell yeah. You gotta be consistent. And that is what is going to initiate you to step forward and take the action you need. Because again, I've said it till I'm blue in the face. Tiny, small, consistent actions lead to massive results. Stop focusing on these big changes, these big pictures. Like people keep saying like, not that they're outlandish, but like, I have this goal. Okay. Do you realize that that goal has 47 other small goals? And then those 47 other small goals have like 3 to 5 smaller actionable items you need to take. It is sometimes batshit crazy running a business and all the things you have to do. But literally, when you start habit stacking, which is making new habits stick, it is one of the best ways to build a habit because you attach it to something you already do. This is called habit stacking. It's what makes new behaviors so much easier to understand. So instead of trying to force a new habit into your routine, you got to attach it to something that's already existing. So then it just becomes automatic. So after I brush my teeth, you could do 10 squats or 10 push-ups. While you wait for your coffee to brew, you could be writing down your goals and your actionable steps for your to-do list for the day. When you put your shoes on, go walk outside for 5 minutes before going to where the next thing you got to go do. Your brain already recognizes the existing habit. So when you pair a new habit with the existing habit, it just makes it easier to stick over time. And over time, those small actionable items compound into major progress. It's not about finding the time for your new habits. It's just about making it work. Make it work by attaching them to something you're already doing, and it'll get easier. So, one habit that you want to build and attach to something you already do daily, that's going to be your action item. So whether it's pouring your coffee and then you drink a glass of water because you're like me and you tend to over-caffeinate because we'd be doing the most, or when you put your keys down, you go and do 10 push-ups, or before you check your phone in the morning, you read 5 minutes of a book, something that I need to get back to doing. Commit to this. Again, y'all, 7 days is the magic number. You got to do it consistently. So do it for 7 days. Tiny changes consistently. Again, creates unstoppable momentum. So watch your habits transform your life over time. All right, y'all, we're cruising through this podcast. So it sounds all well and good, but how do you build self-discipline when motivation fails? The first thing you have to do is create non-negotiables. You cannot be debating with yourself. One of the biggest reasons people struggle with discipline is because they leave room for negotiation. When you allow yourself to debate whether or not to do something, your brain will always look for the easier option. Non-negotiables remove the need for motivation because they take the decision out of your hands. It is a pivotal thing that you just have to do no matter what. So for those of you in the wellness scene, you got to move your body 10 minutes a day. For those of us who are trying to build healthier habits, we're drinking that glass of water before we're having that coffee. If you're somebody that is struggling to spend less time on their phone, 30 minutes before you go to bed, put that phone on that charger and you got to walk away. The reality of all of these is that there are no exceptions. By setting these clear rules for yourself, you eliminate the mental struggle of deciding whether to do something and you just freaking do it. So that mindset shift you need is to stop asking yourself if you should, decide on it, make it a rule, and then commit so you can succeed. The second thing you have to do is remove friction. Making good habits easy and bad habits hard. So self-discipline isn't about willpower. It's about designing your environment for success. The harder it is to start a good habit, the less likely you're going to do it. But the easier it is to engage in bad habits, the more likely you'll fall victim to them. So making good habits easier, again, my wellness baddies, lay your workout clothes out the night before. People trying to improve their healthy habits, have healthy snacks within reach. For those of you that are trying to be more productive, like I am trying to be, set yourself up with a workspace for productivity that removes distractions. That means I cannot be by my television because your girl loves to watch a good series. So if I've got work to do, I'm at my desk or I'm at my kitchen island. The TV is put away because I keep it in like a TV stand. And I am here to work and I have my to-do list. To make bad habits harder, things you could be doing, putting the less than desirable nutrient-dense foods out of sight, out of mind. Turn your notifications off your phone. Fun fact. So the other day, I had an interaction with somebody and they had followed me on social media. And I literally felt like the biggest a-hole because I didn't know they followed me. And so when we were talking, they had said that, they said, hey, like I followed you, but you didn't follow me back. And I felt like the biggest jerk because I had no idea. And this is not like insert disclaimer here as I'm telling you this story. This is not because I have 1 million followers. This is not because I'm so popular. Like this is because I manage 4 pages. I have a full-time job in fitness running a studio. I see patients 3 days a week still, and I have my own company and a podcast, and I just published a freaking book. Like, I don't look at my notifications on any of my pages other than the business page I run for pay. So the fact that people are following me and I don't know isn't intentional. But people take social media so personally. It's not because I have that many followers. If I looked at all of the notifications on all 4 pages that I manage, nothing would get done. I post, I do what I need to do, and I keep it moving. And that's one of the things that I don't have notifications on my phone, which is why I miss a lot of that stuff. And so I don't even have email notifications on my phone. Like I have to physically go into the app to see that. And that is because I am somebody that is addicted to working. And I literally am not an emotional person when it comes to work. So I don't care what I have going on. I'm going to do what I need to do and it's on to the next thing. And because of that, I don't always stop and ask, how you doing? How you feeling? Your girl is just keeping it moving. And sometimes that could probably sound very insensitive. But when you have to do as much as I have to do, I just can't. I just can't with the emotions and the peopling. So your girl, I do miss things and it's not intentional. But that is why I turn my notifications off my phone because I can't mindlessly scroll. So yes, I miss a lot of things, but I promise you it is in no way, shape, or form intentional. Also, I try to leave my phone in the other room when I'm working. I get very distracted, especially when every time I sit down to record podcasts, I feel like I just my phone blows up. So I just have to put it aside. Discipline, it isn't about fighting temptations all day. It's literally about removing them so you don't have to rely on willpower. So the mindset shift you need here is that don't make discipline harder than it has to be. Just set yourself up for success. Third portion of this little scenario. Use accountability to your benefit. Let others help you stay on track. When you're only accountable to yourself, it's real easy to let things slide. But when somebody else is expecting you to follow through, you're far more likely to stay disciplined. So ways to add accountability into your life. Get yourself a workout buddy, somebody that's counting on you to show up. Hire a coach or a mentor, somebody who won't let you quit. Make a public commitment. Tell a friend, family member, or social media. Now, you guys know that I succeed in silence. Oh, yeah, we all know this. Like, I don't tell you things until they're already done. Like today, which is Saturday, as I'm filming this podcast, recording this podcast, I should say, I published a book, and I have so many DMs, and people are like, what? How did you just write a book? Because I do a lot of things I don't tell people about, and I only tell people when they're done. Because I don't know, I just feel like living in Tampa is such a freaking roller coaster, because I feel like there are people, and like obviously when I received my 40 award, I had the most beautiful supportive group there, but not everybody loves seeing you thrive and be successful if they're not where they want to be. And as a result, people are very quick with their tongue here to speak ill of you. And when you're not there to defend yourselves, that becomes the narrative about you. Not gonna lie, it's really hard. Really freaking hard to stomach when you hear things said about you sometimes. Especially for me, when I know my heart and my intentions in life. When I hear things that are not polite or pleasant, it rocks me to my core, I'm not gonna lie. And I have a very hard time handling that, because I feel like I've come so far and I try so freaking hard that when somebody is quick with their tongue in a negative light towards me, I'm not going to lie, I've cried more than I would like to admit in the last week because of something that has happened. And it's just so frustrating when you are fighting with everything in your being to make everything you want possible happen, and then somebody cuts you down or makes a passive aggressive statement to you and like just belittles the shit out of you, and you feel awful about yourself. Like, it's really freaking hard. So I do have like very close personal friends who know things I'm working on, and that is beneficial because you don't have to do it alone. That's like the true mindset shift here, is understanding that accountability makes discipline easier. And if you don't have that person, because I've been there where I didn't have those people I could trust, have some type of tracking system that you can check off every single day that will help you stick to your habits. Your action step for this section is to lock in your discipline strategy now, baddies. Set a non-negotiable rule for yourself. Make it public if you have to. Tell that friend, tell your coach, post about it if you want to. Remove friction. Make your habit easier to start because you're going to attach it to something you're already doing. And then again, you guys know it's coming. We're committing for 7 freaking days. 7 days is nothing. The more you follow through, the stronger your discipline becomes. So stop waiting for that motivation. We know it ain't coming. Build those habits that make success inevitable, and watch yourself become the badass that you were intended to be. All right, we are almost there. This is the last portion of today's podcast, and it is all about how mental hacks enable you to push through when you don't feel like it. So we're going to talk about how to establish those. One of the best things you can do is use something called the 5-second rule to stop overthinking and start moving. If you don't know who Mel Robbins is, shout out Mel Robbins. She is one of the most badass people I have ever heard speak. She's a fantastic author. And yesterday, February 21st, she commented on something I posted on social media, and literally it was like being a kid in a candy store. I don't even know how that happened, but I'm so freaking grateful it did. She writes books that just simplify everything, but are so impactful. And the 5-second rule is literally where you go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and you start. And you're like, Gina, that's so simple. Duh. Guys, it does not have to be this hard. The longer you hesitate, the more likely you are to talk yourself out of taking action. Your brain will find reasons to procrastinate, especially when the task feels uncomfortable or difficult, or it isn't flashy or fun. That's where the 5-second rule comes in. So whenever you feel resistance, count from 5, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, take massive action. Don't feel like getting out of bed? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, stand up. Procrastinating on a workout? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, put those shoes on. Avoiding a task you know that needs done? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, get to stepping and get it done. The mindset shift here is that action creates momentum. The faster you act, the less time your brain has to make excuses. So the faster you can start, the faster you're going to get it done. Number 2. Committing to just 5 minutes to get yourself started will help you keep going. When you're feeling unmotivated, the hardest part is just starting. But once you begin, you are far more than likely to keep going. So tell yourself, I'll do this for 5 minutes and we'll see where we go. If you're not in the mood to work out, this is the wildest thing because it works. When I don't feel like working out, I'll just go down and I'll be like, let's just give it 5 minutes. Every single freaking time I get through the whole workout. If you're struggling to focus, just set a timer for 5 minutes and then start the task. If you are like me and you are dreading meal prep, just chop up one vegetable, for example. Okay, that's one thing that's done. Then you realize, well, if one thing's done, that means less things need done. And then again, that momentum builds. 99% of the time, once you start, you keep going because momentum takes over. So the mindset shift you need here is that you don't actually have to commit to an hour. Simply just commit to 5 minutes and let momentum do the rest. Reframing your mindset from obligation to opportunity, which is, I phrase this as like, I just live in gratitude. Your words shape your reality. So if you say, I have to work out, it feels like a chore. But if you say, I get to move my body, it shifts your perspective to gratitude. So try replacing the things you're saying. When you say, I have to work out, I get to become stronger. I have to eat healthier. I get to fuel my body with good food. I have to wake up early. I get to start my day with purpose. The mindset shift here is that discipline becomes easier when you see your actions as a privilege, not as a punishment. All right, y'all, almost there. Visualize the end result. Focus on how you'll feel after. When you're stuck in resistance, don't focus on the effort, focus on the reward. Instead of dreading the workout, picture how strong and energized you'll feel after. Instead of procrastinating on a task, imagine the relief and accomplishment that you'll feel when you get it done. Ask yourself these questions. How will I feel after I complete this task? What's the benefit of pushing through? What's the future version of myself going to be proud of? Your brain will start associating the task with positive feelings. Make it easier to take action. This mindset shift is knowing that discomfort is temporary, but the reward, it's lasting. Focus on the feeling you want and keep it moving. The action steps for this section is to truly take immediate action. The next time that you're tempted to procrastinate, use one of these mental hacks and take action within 5 seconds. You can use the 5-second rule, count down, and move. You can tell yourself just 5 minutes and see where it takes you. You can reframe your language by replacing I have to with I get to. Game changer, by the way. P.S. Side note, truly just reshapes your entire brain. Visualize the end result and just focus on how good you'll feel after you're done. Discipline isn't about waiting to feel ready. It's about learning how to push through resistance. The more you do it, the easier it will become. All right, badass. Let's recap. Motivation is unreliable, but discipline, that's going to become your new secret weapon. The most successful people don't wait to feel motivated. They build habits, they create systems, and they show up even when they don't feel like it. And now, so can you. Your action step, pick just one thing from today's episode and apply it right now. Whether it's setting a non-negotiable, using the 5-second rule, stacking a new habit onto an existing one, small actions lead to massive momentum. If you found this episode helpful, make sure to subscribe to the Unfiltered Trainer podcast so you never miss a new one. And if you're feeling extra awesome, leave a 5-star review. It helps this show reach more people who need to hear this message. And if you want to go even one step further, tag my Instagram, Gina Marie Fit, and the Unfiltered Trainer with your biggest takeaway so we can keep this conversation going. Thanks for tuning in. As always, I'll see you in the next episode. Now go take massive action.